Very thankful for the win. Blessed to be the coach of these guys. Man, it's a lot of fun. Coach Malachi did a great job with the scout. I thought at halftime our staff did a great job with adjustments. Credit Abilene Christian for coming out and having a really good game plan. And they made 6 threes in the first 12 minutes, and we held them to 1 3 the last 28 minutes. And that was the adjustments that the staff made, and so credit my staff. And I just absolutely love those guys.
Was the plan coming in today to only play 7 guys most of the way?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to get Dorian in the game. I'm trying to get to 8. I have to do a better job of trusting him because he's doing a pretty good job at practice. And so, plans, I'm just trying to figure out how to win games, right? Like one at a time and what gives us the best chance at that moment. And when they jumped out to the big lead like that, it was hard to put him in that situation, right? Because then if he's not successful, you're killing his confidence. And confidence is that's like the most important thing. So, but I thought the guys who were out there did a great job once we adjusted to what they wanted to do.
And, obviously it's a big game for David. I'm wondering how much his offensive game in your mind has changed at Kansas State compared to what you saw in film from him at Virginia Tech.
Well, at Virginia Tech, he played behind 2 all-conference guys, right? And so it wasn't that he was a bad player. He was just stuck behind 2 all-conference guys. And so in the limited minutes that he played, which, I think it was about 13 to 17 a game, somewhere in that area, we saw him do some really good things and thought, man, given more minutes, he could do more of those things. And he's a real mismatch at playing the 5, right? Because he's so fast. He can outrun 5s down the court. He can sprint out of ball screens. And, and he's starting to feel his, they're developing confidence in each other. Because, he went 9 for 9, but you got to credit our guards for throwing him the ball, right? He probably could have been 11 for 14 because he turned down some rolls that he was open. He caught it and didn't go up and try and score it, right? But our guards kept throwing him the ball, so that was a credit there too. But I see David's game continuing to grow. Right? I feel like he can shoot the 3. Right? I believe that he can make plays from the high posts and on a short roll as teams make adjustments, and it's going to just give us more options and just put the defense in the bind more moving forward.
Coach, I got to ask you about free throws. 16 of 29 tonight. Just, I guess, what goes into being a good free throw shooting team?
Man, confidence, repetition. We had the guys shoot 100 threes yesterday, and they sent their numbers, and nobody was less than 74%, and most people were in the high 80s, right, with their 100 threes. So it's not a lack of them putting in time. It's some nights, it's like that. I am glad. I am glad that we can win games and look at this and say, man, we can get better here, we can get better there, we can get better there, because it means that we have a high ceiling. But I don't like missing free throws, though.
Yeah.
K-State does the Big 12.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe not.
In the second half, you mentioned only 1 3 after Abilene Christian went on that hot start. I guess just what kind of went into that as a whole, the game plan wise?
They were driving us baseline to force a rotation. They weren't trying to score, just to put 2 on the ball and then skip out on the backside or throw behind. And we just said we're going to guard it one-on-one and we're not going to help. And if they go finish at the rim, that's okay, because that's not what they wanted to do. And that allowed us to be a little quicker on our rotations and be there on the catch and take away some of their actions.
Not many people are going to be able to keep Keontae to 1 point and a half. What were they doing to kind of keep him tamped down in that first half? When you come off a big game, they gear up on someone.
They didn't tag off of him on the ball screen actions, which allowed David to be open, and credit our guards for looking at the read and saying, it's kind of like in football, the safety's cheating over on that side, so we're going to throw it to this receiver, and that's what we did. We threw it to the right receiver, and it happens like that. And I have to credit Keontae because he kept being in the right spot, and he kept doing what he needed to do, and then he tried to play defense on the other end, and it's going to be like that some nights.
You've previously spoken about the importance of David having confidence on the offensive end, but as far as just scoring and getting opportunities to score, how important is his activity in terms of cutting and running the floor for those opportunities to get buckets at the rim like we saw tonight?
Yeah, I think that as we go along, teams make adjustments, right? So, we've been running some of the same stuff. We run different packages against different types of defenses, and their defense was geared to stop Keontae. So where he was at, nobody was leaving there, right? Whereas in other games, they would tag in the roller, and so if they tag David on the roll, then somebody else is going to be open, right? And it's up to our guards to make the right read. So his activity, he's been running the floor well. The last few games, I think he's been rebounding well. He's probably like at 3.5 rebound. 1 rebound every 3.5 minutes, maybe almost 3, and that's elite. That's like gotta be top 50 in the country, right? And when you get 1 rebound every 3 minutes, so he's been doing the things. Today, that's what the defense offered, and we were able to take advantage of it.
Coach, when you've got a 52-30 advantage in points in the paint, how much of that comes down to just Marquise seeing cutters and finding guys open looks?
Well, that's the whole team. We had a big advantage in the paint in the first half too, right? And we were 1 for 6 from 3, and we just said, hey, on the board I wrote paint before the game even started, right? Because that's where our advantage was, and I was very proud of the guys for continuing to go back to the well. Because sometimes when you get a lead, then you try to do other things, and today we didn't try to do other things.
Coach, the alley-oop off the backboard for Marquise where you had 3 different guys going after it, just how you wrote it up?
I'm glad our fans like that. I'm glad our players like that. I'm learning not to pay attention to everything.
And you mentioned just how the adjustments you made in the first half. Do you think your team came out with the right energy, or was it just a matter of Abilene hitting open shots early on? No,
we didn't come out with the right energy, but as they've shown, they have the ability to turn it up. The thing is, we can't do that in the Big 12, and so we have to get to where we can sustain the energy we need to win for longer periods of time.